As we grow older, the way we view life and social interactions begins to shift in profound ways. In our younger years, we may have found joy in attending gatherings, meeting people, and nurturing multiple relationships. Socializing seemed not only essential, but perhaps even central to our well-being and personal growth. We attended every event, accepted every invitation, and often felt the need to maintain a large circle of acquaintances. But as time passes, many of us begin to realize that what once felt energizing may now seem draining, and what was once a source of connection and joy may begin to feel like an obligation, a burden even. In our later years, our priorities evolve. The things that used to seem so important, like keeping up with social expectations or maintaining a wide network of acquaintances, may no longer hold the same value. Instead, we start to crave something deeper: peace, solitude, and simplicity. We begin to seek out more meaningful, intentional connections, and we start to prioritize our emotional and mental well-being over the pressure to socialize constantly. This shift isn't about withdrawing from the world or abandoning relationships. It's about recognizing that our energy and time are precious, and we should spend them in ways that truly nourish our souls. In this video, we will explore the powerful reasons why reducing social obligations can not only relieve stress, but also help you live a longer, healthier, and happier life. We'll take a close look at the impact of social pressures on your mental and physical health, and we'll discuss how freeing yourself from these obligations can lead to a life filled with peace, contentment, and fulfillment. For many older adults, cutting back on social obligations doesn't mean cutting ties with loved ones or becoming isolated. It means choosing quality over quantity, mindfulness over obligation, and peace over pressure. One of the key aspects of this video will be discussing how cutting down on unnecessary social pressures can lead to a more peaceful, fulfilling life, especially for those in their later years. We'll also examine how prioritizing solitude and mindfulness can bring a sense of tranquility that is often missing from a life filled with constant social interaction. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the need to attend every event or respond to every invitation, you'll learn how to embrace the quiet moments that allow for deeper reflection, personal growth, and inner peace. Before we dive deeper into this important topic, we want to take a moment to encourage you to support our channel. If you found this content helpful so far, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful content that will help you navigate the changes that come with aging. By subscribing, you'll never miss an update on the valuable tips and advice we provide to help you live a longer, healthier, and happier life. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you can be notified every time we release a new video. Why social obligations can be stressful. As we age, the once enjoyable act of socializing can slowly transform into a source of stress and exhaustion. Social obligations, which include attending gatherings, hosting events, or maintaining relationships simply out of habit or duty, can become more burdensome than fulfilling. But why is this? Why do we begin to feel overwhelmed by social interactions that once seemed second nature? The answer lies in a combination of physical, emotional, and psychological factors. As our bodies age, our energy levels naturally decrease, making it more difficult to keep up with the demands of an active social life. Where we once thrived in a room full of people, chatting and interacting, we may now find such situations draining and physically tiring. Attending a party, for example, which involves traveling, standing for long periods, and engaging in long conversations, can become a tiring ordeal rather than an enjoyable event. Beyond the physical strain, there's also an emotional aspect to social obligations that becomes more pronounced as we grow older. In our younger years, we may have felt that attending social events or maintaining numerous relationships was important for our personal and professional growth. We might have seen these interactions as opportunities to learn, network, or even validate our place in society. However, as we age, we start to realize that many of these interactions are shallow or unnecessary, and they can actually drain our emotional energy rather than replenish it. One of the most common sources of stress related to social obligations is the feeling of expectation. Whether it's attending a family function, going to a friend's party, or even just keeping up with acquaintances, there is often an unspoken pressure to show up, be present, and maintain appearances. For many older adults, this expectation can lead to feelings of resentment or anxiety. The simple act of having to say yes to an invitation when your heart isn't in it can weigh heavily on your emotional well-being. Another key factor contributing to the stress of social obligations is the fear of disappointing others. Many people, especially as they age, worry that by declining invitations or stepping back from social obligations, they might upset or alienate friends and family. This can create an internal conflict where the desire for peace and solitude is at odds with the fear of damaging relationships. Unfortunately, this often leads to people pushing themselves to attend events or maintain social connections, even when it no longer serves their well-being. This conflict can become even more intense when it involves close family members or lifelong friends. The guilt associated with distancing oneself from these relationships can be overwhelming. However, what's important to understand is that prioritizing your own peace and well-being is not selfish, it's essential. By reducing social obligations, you're not saying no to relationships. You're simply choosing to engage with them in ways that feel manageable and positive. In addition to the emotional strain, social obligations can also disrupt the routine many older adults rely on for their physical and mental well-being. For example, attending a late-night dinner party can interfere with sleep, while an all-day family gathering might disrupt a much-needed rest day. As we get older, our routines become an integral part of how we maintain our health. When these routines are constantly interrupted by social obligations, it can lead to feelings of fatigue, stress, and even resentment toward the very events we're supposed to enjoy. The reality is that the things that once brought joy, like large gatherings or being the center of attention, may no longer provide the same satisfaction. For many older adults, the desire for peace, quiet, and solitude becomes stronger with age, and the thought of engaging in large social interactions can feel more like a burden than a pleasure. The impact of stress on longevity. Stress, especially when it becomes chronic, has a profound effect on the body and mind. While occasional stress is a normal part of life, persistent stress, such as the kind that comes from constantly fulfilling social obligations, can wreak havoc on your health. As we age, our ability to cope with stress diminishes, and the effects of long-term stress become more pronounced. This section explores how stress impacts longevity and why reducing social obligations can be a crucial step toward living a longer, healthier life. One of the most significant ways stress affects the body is by elevating cortisol levels. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, is released by the adrenal glands in response to stressful situations. In small amounts, cortisol can be beneficial, helping you react quickly to challenges. However, when cortisol levels remain elevated for long periods due to ongoing stress, it can lead to a host of health problems. Chronic high cortisol levels are linked to conditions such as high blood pressure, weakened immune function, and increased risk of heart disease, all factors that can shorten your lifespan. For older adults, the physical impact of stress can be even more dangerous. As the body ages, it becomes less resilient to the wear and tear caused by elevated stress hormones. Chronic stress can accelerate the aging process, leading to inflammation, weakened bones, and slower healing. This means that the more stressed you are, the more vulnerable your body becomes to illness and injury. The immune system, which is already less robust in older age, becomes further compromised, making it harder to fight off infections and recover from sickness. Beyond the physical toll, stress also plays a significant role in mental health. Prolonged exposure to stress can lead to anxiety, depression, and cognitive decline. Studies have shown that older adults who experience chronic stress are more likely to suffer from memory problems, impaired cognitive function, and even dementia. The pressure of fulfilling social obligations, whether it's attending gatherings, keeping up with social events, or managing expectations, can add unnecessary strain to the mind, exacerbating feelings of anxiety or burnout. It's important to recognize that the source of this stress is not always external. Often, the stress of social obligations comes from within. Our own expectations of how we should behave, or the fear of letting others down. For many older adults, there's an internalized belief that being social, attending events, or maintaining a wide circle of friends is a reflection of success or happiness. This mindset can lead to feelings of guilt or inadequacy when you no longer have the energy or desire to keep up with these expectations. But understanding that it's okay to prioritize your own peace is a powerful step toward reducing stress and improving your overall well-being. Another factor to consider is the impact of sleep disruption caused by stress. When you're constantly worried about fulfilling social obligations, your sleep may suffer. You might find yourself lying awake at night, thinking about upcoming events, or worrying about how to manage your time. Sleep is crucial for overall health, especially as you age. Poor sleep can lead to fatigue, weakened immunity, and even cognitive decline. By reducing social obligations, you can protect your sleep and ensure your body gets the rest it needs to function optimally. The connection between stress and longevity is well documented. Studies show that individuals who manage stress effectively tend to live longer, healthier lives. This is because reducing stress allows your body to maintain homeostasis, or balance, in its systems. When you constantly expose your body to stress, you're forcing it to work harder than it should, which accelerates the aging process and increases your risk of illness. By contrast, living a life with less stress, one where you're not constantly fulfilling obligations or worrying about others, can help you preserve your health, extend your lifespan, and maintain a better quality of life in your later years. The benefits of solitude. Solitude is often misunderstood. Many people, especially in their younger years, equate spending time alone with loneliness or isolation. But as we grow older, we begin to realize that solitude can be one of the most fulfilling and peaceful aspects of life. Solitude allows us to step away from the constant noise and busyness of social obligations and reconnect with ourselves on a deeper level. In this section, we'll explore the numerous benefits of embracing solitude, particularly for older adults who are looking for balance, peace, and fulfillment. One of the key benefits of solitude is the opportunity for self-reflection. In a world that is constantly demanding our attention, it can be challenging to find time to sit quietly and reflect on our thoughts, experiences, and emotions. Solitude gives us that time. Whether it's reflecting on past experiences or considering what we want from the future, spending time alone allows us to gain clarity and a deeper understanding of ourselves. For older adults, this period of reflection can be especially valuable, as it provides the opportunity to review life's lessons, focus on personal growth, and appreciate the journey. Another major benefit of solitude is the reduction of external pressures. When we are constantly surrounded by others, we often feel the need to meet certain expectations or conform to social norms. Whether it's feeling the pressure to entertain guests or maintain conversations, these external demands can become exhausting. Solitude, on the other hand, removes these pressures. In moments of solitude, you are free from the expectations of others. You can relax, recharge, and focus on your own needs without worrying about how you are perceived or what others expect from you. Creativity and personal interests also flourish in solitude. When you have time to yourself, without distractions, you can engage in activities that bring you joy. Whether it's painting, gardening, writing, or simply reading a good book, solitude gives you the space to explore your hobbies and interests more deeply. Many older adults find that they can reconnect with passions that they may have set aside during their busier years. These activities not only bring fulfillment, but also provide a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Moreover, solitude allows for mental and emotional rejuvenation. Social interactions, while often enjoyable, can also be mentally and emotionally draining. Constantly being around others means that you are always in a state of interaction, responding to conversations, managing social dynamics, and being on. Solitude, however, allows you to disconnect from these demands and focus on your own mental well-being. It provides a space where you can recharge emotionally and mentally, helping you to return to social interactions feeling more refreshed and grounded. Physical well-being can also benefit from solitude. When you reduce social obligations and spend more time alone, you have the opportunity to focus on your health, both physical and mental. You can establish routines that support your well-being, such as regular exercise, meditation, or healthy eating, without the distractions or demands of a busy social calendar. This focus on self-care is especially important as we age, when maintaining health becomes more critical to overall quality of life. It's also important to note that solitude doesn't mean isolation. Many people fear that by embracing solitude, they will become disconnected from others. But in reality, solitude often enhances our appreciation for the meaningful relationships in our lives. When we spend time alone, we have the opportunity to reflect on the people who matter most to us. Solitude can help us focus on deepening these relationships, rather than maintaining a large circle of acquaintances. The result is a more intentional and fulfilling social life, where interactions are more meaningful and less frequent, but more rewarding. How to prioritize what matters most. As we age, the importance of prioritizing what truly matters becomes clearer. Life naturally shifts, and the energy we once had to maintain large social circles or engage in constant socializing begins to wane. Rather than seeing this as a loss, it's an opportunity to focus on what brings genuine joy and fulfillment. This section will explore how to prioritize meaningful relationships and activities, allowing you to create a life that feels balanced, peaceful, and intentional. One of the first steps in prioritizing what matters most is identifying the relationships that bring value to your life. In our younger years, we often maintain connections with a wide variety of people, some meaningful, others more surface level. As we get older, however, it becomes essential to focus on the relationships that truly matter. These are the people who bring positivity, support, and genuine connection into your life. By focusing on a few deep, meaningful relationships, you can foster stronger bonds and spend more time with the people who make you feel happy and fulfilled. At the same time, it's important to let go of relationships that feel draining or unnecessary. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life abruptly, but rather allowing natural distance to develop where necessary. For instance, if you have a friendship that feels more like an obligation than a joy, it may be time to gently step back. By reducing these types of relationships, you'll free up emotional and mental space to invest in the connections that bring true fulfillment. Remember, you're not obligated to maintain relationships that no longer serve your well-being, and prioritizing your own happiness is key to a peaceful life. In addition to prioritizing relationships, it's essential to focus on activities that align with your interests and values. Social obligations often pull us in different directions, and we may find ourselves participating in activities that we don't truly enjoy. As you reduce social obligations, you have the chance to rediscover activities that bring you joy and align with your passions. Whether it's spending time in nature, exploring creative hobbies, or engaging in a fitness routine, these activities can enrich your life in ways that superficial socializing cannot. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in prioritizing what matters. By practicing mindfulness, you can become more aware of how different relationships and activities make you feel. Take note of the people and situations that bring positivity and peace, as well as those that drain your energy or cause stress. This awareness will help guide your decisions on where to invest your time and emotional energy. As you become more mindful of your social interactions, you'll naturally gravitate toward the connections that feel authentic and meaningful. Finally, remember that it's okay to put yourself first. Society often places a high value on being social, maintaining appearances, and constantly staying connected. But the truth is, it's perfectly acceptable to prioritize your own well-being above societal expectations. When you focus on what truly matters to you, whether it's relationships, activities, or personal health, You're creating a life that is fulfilling and aligned with your values. This self-care approach leads to more meaningful connections and a sense of peace that comes from living intentionally. The power of mindful connections. In a world that often emphasizes the quantity of social interactions, it's easy to forget the true value of meaningful, mindful connections. As we age, it becomes increasingly clear that quality is far more important than quantity when it comes to relationships. Mindful connections are those that bring joy, fulfillment, and a sense of peace. These are the connections that are intentional, genuine, and focused on mutual respect and understanding. By reducing social obligations, you can create space in your life to nurture these deeper, more meaningful relationships. Mindfulness in relationships is about being fully present with the people who matter most to you. When you're not weighed down by superficial or obligatory social engagements, you can invest more energy into the connections that truly enrich your life. This means being able to have thoughtful, genuine conversations where both parties are engaged and invested. Whether it's spending quality time with family, close friends, or a partner, these mindful moments bring a sense of fulfillment that casual interactions often lack. One of the most powerful aspects of mindful connections is the ability to listen and be heard. In larger social settings or within superficial relationships, it's easy for conversations to remain surface level or rushed. But in mindful connections, there is space for deeper discussions. You can talk openly about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, knowing that the other person is truly listening. This sense of being heard and understood is incredibly important for emotional well-being, especially as we age. It fosters a sense of connection and belonging that goes beyond the need for constant social activity. Vulnerability also plays a significant role in mindful connections. As we develop deeper relationships, we allow ourselves to be more open and authentic with those we care about. This openness strengthens the bond and builds trust between individuals. When you reduce the number of social obligations you feel pressured to fulfill, you free up emotional space to engage more vulnerably with the people who matter. These relationships become a source of emotional support, as well as an opportunity for personal growth. In contrast, maintaining a wide circle of acquaintances out of obligation can lead to superficial connections that offer little emotional depth. These interactions often feel more like a performance or social duty, leaving you feeling drained rather than fulfilled. By focusing on fewer, more intentional relationships, you can experience a deeper level of connection that is not only emotionally satisfying, but also mentally rejuvenating. It's about building a network of support, where each interaction adds value to your life, rather than simply filling up your social calendar. Moreover, reducing social obligations allows you to give more to the relationships that truly matter. When you're not stretched thin by constant social engagements, you have more energy and attention to invest in those relationships that are most meaningful. Whether it's spending more time with a loved one or offering deeper emotional support, these mindful connections thrive when nurtured without the distractions of unnecessary obligations. Physical and mental health improvements. Reducing social obligations doesn't just benefit your emotional well-being. It has significant physical and mental health benefits as well. As we age, our health becomes increasingly delicate, and it's important to find ways to reduce stress and promote longevity. By cutting back on unnecessary social obligations, you allow yourself the time and space to focus on your own health, which can lead to profound improvements in both your physical and mental well-being. One of the most immediate health benefits of reducing social obligations is the reduction of stress. Constant socializing, even when done out of obligation rather than genuine desire, places a heavy burden on the body. Stress causes the release of cortisol, a hormone that, when chronically elevated, can lead to serious health problems such as high blood pressure, weakened immune function, and increased risk of heart disease. By reducing your social calendar and prioritizing rest and relaxation, you can significantly lower your stress levels, which in turn helps to protect your heart, boost your immune system, and improve your overall health. In addition to reducing stress, stepping away from social obligations allows you to focus more on your physical health. With fewer social commitments, you have more time to engage in activities that support your physical well-being, such as regular exercise, proper sleep, and healthy eating. You can take daily walks, practice gentle yoga, or spend time gardening. Whatever physical activity brings you joy and helps keep your body strong. Without the constant need to attend events or gatherings, you can establish a routine that nurtures your body and supports a longer, healthier life. Another key area where reducing social obligations can benefit you is sleep quality. For many older adults, sleep becomes more challenging as they age. The stress of keeping up with social engagements can interfere with your ability to relax and unwind, making it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep through the night. By scaling back on social obligations, you create more time for rest and relaxation, allowing your body to recover and recharge. Prioritizing sleep is one of the most effective ways to improve overall health, as it allows your body to heal, supports brain function, and boosts your immune system. Mental health also improves when you reduce social pressures. Constantly feeling the need to fulfill obligations can lead to feelings of anxiety, overwhelm, or even depression. By stepping back from these pressures, you give yourself the emotional space to focus on what truly brings you happiness and peace. This can involve mindfulness practices, such as meditation or deep breathing, that help center your thoughts and calm your mind. With fewer social obligations, you have the opportunity to engage in activities that bring mental clarity and promote emotional well-being. How to say no with grace. One of the most challenging aspects of reducing social obligations is learning how to say no, especially without offending or alienating those around us. Many people struggle with this, as there is often a fear of letting others down or being perceived as rude. However, learning to say no with grace is an essential skill, particularly as we age and begin to prioritize our own well-being over external obligations. In this section, we'll explore practical tips for setting boundaries and gracefully declining invitations or requests without guilt. The first step to saying no with grace is to recognize your own limits. Understanding that your energy is finite and that you cannot say yes to everything is key. Whether it's a family gathering, a social event, or a favor from a friend, it's important to acknowledge that you have the right to choose how you spend your time. Once you are clear on your limits, it becomes easier to say no because you are making a decision that supports your well-being rather than trying to meet everyone else's expectations. When it comes to actually saying no, being direct but kind is the best approach. You don't need to offer long explanations or excuses. A simple, polite refusal is often enough. For example, if someone invites you to an event that you don't feel up to attending, you can say something like, "Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I won't be able to make it." This shows appreciation for the invitation while also making it clear that you're declining. Being polite but firm helps convey your message without leaving room for pressure or guilt. It's also helpful to keep your reasons concise and honest. Many people feel the need to give elaborate explanations when saying no, but this can sometimes make the situation more complicated. Instead, focus on being brief and honest without over-explaining. For instance, you could say, "I've been focusing on my health lately and need to take it easy," or "I'm trying to cut back on commitments to give myself more rest." Most people will understand and respect your decision, especially if you present it calmly and with kindness. For those times when saying no feels particularly difficult, you can use alternative solutions to soften the refusal. For example, if you don't want to attend a social gathering, you could suggest a different way to connect, such as meeting for coffee at a more convenient time. Offering an alternative allows you to maintain the relationship without taking on the burden of attending an event that doesn't suit your needs. For instance, you might say, "I won't be able to make the party, but I'd love to catch up one-on-one sometime soon." Finding balance between social life and peace. While reducing social obligations can lead to greater peace and fulfillment, it's also important to find a healthy balance between solitude and maintaining meaningful social connections. After all, humans are inherently social creatures, and maintaining relationships is essential for emotional and mental well-being. The key is not to eliminate social interactions entirely, but to balance them in a way that nurtures your peace and enhances your quality of life. One way to maintain this balance is to set clear limits on how often you engage in social activities. For example, you might decide that attending 1 or 2 social events a week is manageable and fulfilling, while more frequent commitments may start to feel like a burden. By creating a schedule that works for you, you can ensure that you have enough time to rest and recharge between social interactions. This approach allows you to enjoy socializing without the pressure of constantly being on or overextending yourself. Another important aspect of balancing social life and peace is learning to listen to your body and mind. If you notice that certain social events or interactions leave you feeling drained or anxious, it might be a sign that you need to scale back. On the other hand, if you find that spending time with close friends or family brings you joy and energy, those are the interactions to prioritize. By being mindful of how different types of social interactions affect you, you can better manage your time and energy. In addition, it's helpful to diversify the ways in which you maintain your social connections. Socializing doesn't always have to involve attending large gatherings or events. You can find creative ways to stay connected with loved ones that are less taxing on your time and energy. For example, phone calls, video chats, or meeting for coffee in a quiet setting can offer meaningful interaction without the need for a big social commitment. These more intimate forms of connection allow you to maintain your relationships while still preserving your peace. It's also important to remember that solitude is not the same as isolation. While spending time alone can be incredibly restorative, it's still vital to stay connected with the people who matter most to you. By striking a balance between solitude and social interaction, you can enjoy the best of both worlds: ample time for rest and reflection, and meaningful moments of connection with others. It's all about finding the right balance that works for you and adapting it as your needs evolve. Embracing a happier, more peaceful life. In the end, reducing social obligations is not about withdrawing from life or severing ties with those you care about. Instead, it's about finding a balance that prioritizes your well-being and allows you to live with more intention, peace, and joy. As we age, our energy and capacity for constant social interactions naturally diminish, and it's important to recognize when it's time to shift focus from external obligations to internal contentment. By cutting back on unnecessary social commitments, you give yourself the gift of time and space, time to focus on the relationships and activities that truly bring fulfillment, and space to reflect, recharge, and engage in meaningful solitude. This newfound time and space can be used to cultivate deeper connections with those who matter most, whether that's family, close friends, or even with yourself. The process of intentionally choosing where to invest your energy leads to a more fulfilling and enriched life. The benefits of reducing social obligations are clear. First, it reduces stress, which has a direct and positive impact on both physical and mental health. Lowering your stress levels helps protect your heart, boosts your immune system, and improves your emotional well-being. It can also lead to better sleep, clearer thinking, and a deeper sense of peace and calm in your everyday life. Another key benefit is the enhancement of personal well-being. By focusing on meaningful connections and engaging in activities that bring you joy, you can improve your overall happiness and satisfaction. This shift toward quality over quantity in social interactions allows for deeper, more fulfilling relationships, as well as a renewed sense of purpose and contentment in life. You'll find that you have more energy for the people and activities that truly matter to you. Additionally, embracing solitude as a natural part of life, rather than something to be feared, can lead to profound personal growth. Solitude gives you the chance to reflect, reconnect with yourself, and pursue hobbies or passions that bring a sense of fulfillment. It allows you to focus on your own needs, helping you to live more mindfully and with greater clarity. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like, share, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on reducing social obligations. We'd love to hear how prioritizing your own well-being has impacted your life. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful content about living a healthier, happier, and more peaceful life. And be sure to click the bell icon so you never miss an update.